Hi guys, hope you're well. Further to my previous video that I uploaded just a couple of days ago with regards to downgrading the firmware on the X-H2, I had a comment from Edvard, who is a fellow YouTuber who actually was probably one of the first people to start talking about the whole firmware, the broken firmware issue with regards to Fujifilm on the internet. So shout out to him and thank you very much for your comment. So he suggested that I should do a tracking test where I'm moving backwards and forward into the camera. So what I did was I actually filmed in my garden, both cameras set up, my X-H2S and my X-H2 with manual exposure, just so that I can actually test both cameras at the same time and you guys can see how well they track after downgrading the firmware. And hopefully this will help you guys decide if you want to downgrade the firmware or not. I appreciate some people are probably a little bit in two minds about possibly voiding their warranty or bricking their camera, and obviously this is not an obligation on you guys. This is just for information. I hope you guys can see the autofocus test and then make a decision yourself. So I'm out in my garden and I'm walking back and forward at different speeds, left and right, up and down, to see how well I stay in focus. Okay, so I'll let you see that now. Okay guys, so I'm doing the autofocus test outside in my garden. I have the X-H2S here on my left and the X-H2 on the right. I'm currently filming on I'm using the 16 to 50 2.8 set at f3.2, and on this camera, the X-H2, I'm using the 18mm f1.4, but it's also set at f3.2 to make it a fair test. This is set to 18mm because this is 18mm. I'm using eye tracking on both of these cameras. Just to let you know, the ISO is fixed, so it's not going to change. The shutter speed is fixed and so is the aperture. So the camera does not have to calculate any exposure settings at all. All it has to do is make sure that my face is in focus. Now, both are recording in f-log2 and they should have pretty much the same exposure. I'm just going to correct the field of view on this. So we're getting pretty much the same. There you go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go walk over there in my garden and walk back this way and go left and right so you can see what's going on. Okay, so as I turn around and walk in that direction, it should track the back of my head. I hope it does. Anyway, ignore the towel. Okay, so now I must be around 5 meters, 6 meters from the camera. Slow walking, nothing too onerous. These cameras should be able to track my face now. And I can see both cameras are tracking my right eye and they're doing a relatively good job. Looks good. Obviously, I'm not going to know until I get back to my computer and see what happens. So I'm going to start walking a little bit quicker. Okay, so maybe a quick walk, left, right, bit of a jump. Okay, and they should both hopefully be in focus. And the idea of this test, guys, is so that we can compare both X-H2 and the X-H2S with regards to auto tracking now that the firmware has been downgraded. Remember, the X-H2S is on 1.03 and the X-H2 is on 1.1. Both should be stable builds. Was one out of focus there? I don't know. And we're going to do that again for the last time. And a bit of a quick run. Don't know which is quicker to keep up there. I'll find out in a minute. Okay, so I know this isn't an ideal test. Okay, that's pretty good. Right, so finding my face and locking on, as far as the box goes, looks good. So at least it knows to track my face, and it's pretty much sticky on my eye. Whether the camera can actually communicate to the lens and tell it or them where I am is a different story. Okay, all right, that concludes the test. So that should give you an idea about the current firmwares that I'm running on both cameras. As far as I'm concerned, both are working really, really well. The X-H2 was a little bit slow acquiring focus when I was ducking in and out, but I think it's fair to say that it's not the same stat sensor as the X-H2S, and also it did have the 18mm f1.4 lens on there, which is heavier to move. The optics are heavier to move because it's a larger aperture lens. But otherwise, I think both are really usable for video work now that they've been downgraded. So I hope this concludes the test. If you have any questions, please put a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to talk to you about this. And also, if you would like to have any of the files, the file for the X-H2 or the X-H2S, my email address is also in the description below. Okay, great. See you in the next video.